Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. We had a jam-packed episode of hauntedly, horribly, amazingly fabulous designs last night on Project Runway. Some I don't quite understand made it to the top, and some I knew were going to make it to the top just from the moment I saw the creation coming to life. And then there were some on the bottom that I just didn't felt like should be there. But we all have our opinions. Fashion is in the eye of the beholder, and that's why we're here, so we can discuss it together, see what we all liked and didn't like, and talk about it. So, wow, so last night we had a very Halloween-esque kind of theme. It was if you got it, haunt it. And it was a very spooky yet fun episode. I definitely enjoyed having a Halloween theme, especially with, Halloween being on Sunday. It was a great thing for them to do. So first things first, let me get my file open for everybody. I want to put up the contestant that went home. Well, she went home by herself last week, but our contestant little thing that we got going on, our little board that we have so we can look at it. So, as we can see, I put a little note, and by the way, hello, Lady Abstract Butterfly. So good that you're popping in to say hi. I have all of the Project Runway contestants on my Instagram, still, recording lives. But I do have a special little clip from this week. So Darren, Kenneth, and Octavio, and I forgot who, I think Chastity was the other one, went live this week on Instagram. And I was like, oh my God, let me join the convo. There was only 20 people on there, and they allowed to ask questions. So I asked, Kenneth if he had spoken to Meg since everything that went down. And he responded with no, and that he'd still love to talk to her, and maybe they can do it during an Instagram live. And I was like, hey, yeah, that would be a great idea, but make sure, you let me know first. But I did capture that Instagram live for you guys. I screen recorded it so I could share with you guys. So here's our little chart that we got. So I marked on Meg's that she went home. So that way we can remember this as we go through. Behind the scenes, episode 2. Yes, I do. So a lot of them put like their looks on their Instagram lives, which if any of you guys would like, I can put the contestant board on Sunshinery's Instagram, and then I can tag each one of the designers. So that way you can always go back to that photo if you would like, and then be able to find their Instagram pages so you guys can check them out as well. Because a lot of them do put some behind the scenes clips. They put some of the clips out Friday, then throughout the week, the next week, for everyone to take a peek of and all of that. But it would just be easier because that's how I actually found it. Thank you to, I think it's T Project. Yeah, let me get the actual. I don't want to say the wrong one. It's Topic Project Runway Instagram page, who actually was the one who did that for me and got me this beautiful contestant photo and was able to tag them all. And that's how I found all the wonderful designers. So I'll do the same, and I will definitely tag Topic Project Runway since they're amazing and got this up and out there for everybody before Project Runway even started. I was so impressed. They're a great Instagram to follow if you like Project Runway. They do put a lot of behind the scenes and all of that great stuff as well, because there's some awesome behind the scenes stuff from last week that I wanted to share with you all before we get started with everything. And unfortunately, the only crappy part is that there's music for some of these beautiful behind the scenes clips from last week. So I'm going to have to mute it in the meantime. So I'm going to remove this from the screen for now. And then I'm going to share the first one, which was... Why can't everything just be like ready for me? I'm always organized, and then StreamYard always backs me up some. It's like, oh no, you can't be that organized because we're going to put you back right over here. It's like, no, why? Why do you do this to me, StreamYard? One day, once I have 1,000 members, I can just do it from YouTube, which makes it a lot easier. But until then, we use StreamYard. So here are episode 2 behind the scenes. This is Aaron's Instagram of his outfit. I have to mute it because there is music. So unfortunately, let me mute this really quick. Add to stream, and here, let's take this. Lovely. I love it. Because it shows all the possible looks of Aaron's outfit. Even the reverse jacket flip. Love it. Thank you, thank you. And I'll play it one more time so we can see it again really quick. I love those overalls. Jacket, and then jacket flip. So beautiful. So beautiful. And then, here we go. So I have Instagram Live, IG. Here we go. Let me download this so we can have it. I'm not going to play the entire Instagram because it was like a 40-minute Instagram. I'm going to play like the part where I ask questions and the little clips that I know that you guys enjoyed, that I enjoyed, finding out a little bit of behind the scenes about Darren and Kenneth and how everyone wants them to date because they're so cute together. And they're still really good friends, and it's so nice to see. It really is. Save as. Come on. Don't be a pain. There we go. All right. It is now officially saving. So that's going to take some time, but in the meantime, while that's saving, let's show the next behind the scenes. So we'll move this one. We'll add our next one, which is going to be Mr. Darren. Now, this I thought was so funny, the way he did his outfit with the model. And of course, there's music to this as well. So next week, I'm going to put my own music to these for you guys so we can take a nice, we don't have to worry about not having music. And it's to Avril Lavigne. So it gives you that punk rock vibe, by the way. So just imagine listening to Avril Lavigne. Yeah. Very interesting how he did this with the model. Sorry about the manhood. I mean, I heard that they put socks to make them bigger down below. FYI. So don't think that that's all his manhood. I think it's so cool, though. It was a nice, like, little thing that they do. So next, we'll add in, we have a behind the scenes from Christina. So this was her model behind the scenes look from last week. Oh, and sound's going to play. It's all good. There we go. I like how she did her outside with the wind blowing, because it showed the texture of like the sleeves and all the strings that were attached to the pants and all of that. So I think that was cool. And it gives it that like boat vibe too, kind of going on. Beautiful. I think this was definitely a great outfit. So I have one more behind the scenes from last week for you. And then I have a little treat. I have a lot of little treats tonight for you guys. So this was Sabrina's behind the scenes. Lots of treats for you guys. It's like trick or treat, you know, it's Halloween. I got all the treats for you guys tonight. So this is Sabrina's. I like how she did, like, you know, added on the stuff to her model as well. So it's kind of like they're like doing kind of TikToks, but they're not really TikToks. They're just for Instagram. It's like, yes, baby. I love how she did it outside too, so you can see the texture and flow of things as well. Okay, so on Sabrina's Instagram, she had these pants that she's selling, and they're called X pants. And I found them so fascinating because you can wear them in so many different varieties and ways that I had to show you guys. So this is Sabrina's X pants that you can actually purchase and buy. Like, I mean, they're probably a lot of money. Then again, you never know. They might not be that much. I've been from Project Runway contestants in past, and I got like a tie-dyed shirt from Jenny and face mask actually from their pandemic. And I spent maybe like $50, but it was worth it. So I am going to lower the volume just in case, because there is a little bit of music in the beginning, but she describes how the pants work, so we gotta have.
I quickly want to show you that when you get your X pants, you can kind of play with how many ways you can wear it. This is how it's going to be shipped. It's going to come with it buttons to the front and
buttons in the front and the back.
And buttons to the side.
And then unbutton it and button it on the sides.
You can just literally take it and push.
And put the pockets in the pocket.
Okay.
Like, look how compact and crazy cool these pants are. Granted, I don't think they'd look very good on me, but if you're into fashion and this is something that you would be interested in, check out Sabrina's X pants, because they're for sale and she is having fun designing for everyone still. I thought those were so cool, though, that I had to show you guys. So one more quick behind the scenes little clip before we get into tonight's episodes. I got more behind the scenes treats throughout the episode for you guys, but one more quick one before we get started with episode 3's If You Got It, Haunt It. So this is Christina. She did an interview and it was featured on her Instagram account. And there's a little bit of behind the scenes info about Project Runway. So
the fashion industry is cutthroat. Add in a competition with a $250,000 prize for the winner, and it's just a recipe for drama.
I don't want to see you guys turning on each other.
She looks like she's wearing a Batman costume.
Don't let anybody else's opinions distract what we're doing.
Mine?
Yes.
Oh my God. You do whatever you want. It's going to be the tiniest things that's going to divide each one of you.
I'm so tired.
I can save you, honey.
It's hard and challenging.
Where's your attitude?
No matter how delirious you are, how nervous you are.
All right, designers, 5 minutes.
And these are some that we haven't even seen yet.
Fabulous, guys.
You have to push forward.
Well, New York designer Christina Karlashkina has her eyes on the prize. She's taking us behind the scenes and into the sewing room of Project Runway. Please welcome my newest cousin, Christina Karlashkina.
Yay!
Hi, Audrey.
I was ringing my bell so loud it rolled across the floor. That's how excited I am to meet you.
I am very excited too.
Oh, same here. Okay, so tonight is the second episode of the 19th season. And we can only imagine how nerve-wracking this whole situation has got to be for you. But it's also amazing to be getting this kind of platform to share your talent, wouldn't you say?
I think it's well, that's one of the best experience in my life. I definitely can say that. And you know, we've been going through a lot of emotions through the
A lot of emotions for sure with episode 2.
whole competition, but it's definitely worth it.
Well,
I
we
would
can
say
tell,
so.
and we know because this is a major show. It has launched so many careers, like Christian that you get to work with now, a former winner. So that's like an insight on what the possibilities are. And you know, sometimes
so much
people's
more.
backstory kind of lets me know how deep their understanding of fashion is. Because from what I've heard, cousin, you were a ballroom dancer, and
she was a ballroom dancer. Hey, well, if you don't win Project Runway, or if you do too, you can always try out for Dancing with the Stars.
I watch ballroom dancing a lot of times just because of the dresses, because that is fashion.
That's true.
You know what? I'm still watching it because of the dresses too.
Right? So so you already have a different understanding and different love of fashion because the outfit also makes the dance.
Everything.
So
That's
what
very
made you switch
true.
from the dance
So a
to the
gown would have
fashion
been
you still dance?
perfect for her.
No, just in my free time, maybe on the Broadway, maybe on the Broadway on the street. No, but you know, like, so I was not planning to be a fashion designer, but I was always drawing, you know, like I was creating costumes for myself. And then at some point, you know, like I was a little bit overwhelmed with the dancing partners, you know, like I was like, okay, I want to take a little bit of a break from them. And then I was just like focusing on my studies because I thought, like, you know, like a
So she did ballroom dancing. The dancers kind of wore her out, but she designed her own costumes. That's so cool. Focused on her studies, and then she got into this.
Costumes will help me to create costumes for my dance part. But, you know, when, you know, it became so entertaining and so interesting, and I was going deeply, you know, and it started to be more interesting than just dancing, you know. So because it's like a fashion is more, you know, it's not just like a beautiful clothes,
very true,
but it's research, you know, it's a connections, it's people,
emotion,
and it's like you're expressing yourself in a different way. So like a dancing, it's more about through your body and emotions.
But
and
here's the thing, Christina. I saw your Juliet dress, which is available for pre-order now. And I was like, I love that expression because it looks like it's all in one.
See, she got designs also already available. So if you love what some of these designers are making, check them out. That's what I did when I found Jenny, and that's my favorite tie-dyed shirt. I usually create my own tie-dye, but I bought that one so I could be like, yes, I bought something from a Project Runway contestant, of course. And she was my favorite, so.
So when you do win the prize, we're talking $250,000. This was one of your dresses from last week, right?
That's one of my favorites.
Julia dress.
That's the first dress.
Yeah, that was your first dress. Who's that? Yun? Is that how I say her name?
Yun.
Yeah, Yun.
My model.
So your model, yeah. So we've seen your style, and even your Juliet dress that's available for pre-order has one sleeve that way. So what do you hope to do with the prize money? What are your goals for when you win?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, my goals are quite big.
I like how she avoided that she,
example,
when you win.
You know, like I would love to do a research for fashion because I would love to do a smart fashion, and I want to experiment with different like yarns with the 3D knitting, you know, and like all these technologies that are not maybe available like right now, right here, but
That's
it's definitely
amazing.
possible to develop something. So it's maybe Japan or California, you know, so like I want to bring new technology into fashion and to make fashion more like a smart fashion.
Oh, okay.
That's
Your not smart
amazing.
cousin, OG, is going to be here waiting on you to win, because then we can go to brunch and just, it's going to be just a $20 brunch, and then spend $20 on the brunch and then discuss more of your plans. We
Oh my
cannot
God,
wait.
let's do that.
Right?
That
Okay,
is
let's
awesome.
do it. I'll come see you in Queens. All right.
So that was just a little sneak peek. I thought that was pretty cool that they're getting to do all these interviews now. So check it out. I mean, they have all of their Instagram pages. Like I said, Topic Project Runway. If you search it, it's one of the top Project Runway besides actual Bravo's Instagram. I'll link it in the description for everybody else below. Actually, let me grab it really quick because I have the website up. I've had it up for 2 weeks now because I love checking it out and just seeing what they post and getting some behind the scenes for you guys. So this is going to go right to the actual contestant thing that we got going on right here, except there's no X's on theirs. So if you go to this link that I'm putting in the chat right now, it'll take you to Topic Project Runway's Instagram. And if you click on the photo again, it'll have all the tags for every designer except for Kenneth. So Kenneth, you actually have to search Kenneth Barless to find his Instagram, because that was the only one at that time that he did not have. And actually, Anna's at the top is who she's working for. It's not her personal Instagram as well. I actually had to find that. So I will do my own version on Sunshinery's Instagram for everybody after the show tonight, and I will post it and I will tag all of the designers, because I even have Meg's Instagram, who's private. She added me. I was so excited. But anyways, let's get on to why we are all here tonight. We are here to talk about what happened this week on Project Runway's episode number 3, If You Got It, Haunt It. So it started off with, the designers celebrating, no one having to go home, all of that wonderful stuff. And actually, let me get this started for you guys. Before I start, I want to get the photos ready because I have like 40 photos for you guys. As I go through the review, I took photos so we can go through and you guys can get a quick glimpse of everything as I talk. Every week I'm getting better and better with how I want the episodes to go, so I hope you guys are enjoying them. And let me know if you guys have any other ideas too of how you want things to go with this after show, because this is the first time I've done an after show for a television show that I enjoy. So give me some ideas. I'd be more than happy to take them and use them as well. So let me put our first photo up on the screen. Okay. So we start off the episode, like I said, with them all celebrating. Yay, no one went home. Everyone, was having fun, hanging out, chatting, taking the champagne, drinking it back, and discussing how they don't like runway days because it's getting tougher and tougher when, bam, thunder and lightning goes off, and so do the lights in the room. Everyone gets up and runs into the workroom area until Octavia and Kenneth spot something moving, asking, "What is that?" When all of a sudden, Christian flips over his cloak. Christian the vampire. Oh, Aaron, I love you. And ba-ba! everybody, it's Christian. And he, says happy Halloween. Then everyone notices it's Christian. They turn back around. They get all excited. So first thing asked by Prajay was, are we making costumes? Which I was like, oh, please don't be costumes either. Which Christian reassured them they were not making costumes. Woof! Thank God. So Christian goes into how, famous designers like Gucci, Alexandra McQueen, Givenchy, all used haunting themes in their collections for decades. And now it's their turn. And like any good horror movie, there are twists. And there is a short drive away that they need to all go on to find out about their challenge. So they all get in the car. They're like, what? We got to go for a drive? Oh no. I loved Xander's face in that. And here's a little behind the scenes little clip that I got for you guys. Thank God. And that's where we are now. So they all get into the car, and on the way to this very haunted mansion, Octavio says in the car, which I thought was hilarious, I hope we don't have to reupholster coffins. Like, of all things, why would you think a coffin? But hey, that would have been an interesting thing to see. So someone else, while they're pulling up, I think it was Bones, not quite sure, says, I don't like that I didn't bring my sage. I'm wearing Birkenstocks and those aren't made for running. Oh, honey, no, they're not. Bad timing to wear your Birkenstocks, even though they are very, very comfortable. So they all pull up to the Bartow Pell Mansion in Pelham Bay Park, New York. And this is a mansion that's been haunted for over 175 years. The mansion and the land it's on are all haunted by ghosts. We learned that Darren actually loves Halloween, and he can actually see dead people. So I think he has kind of an advantage going into this, that he can see dead people. He's going into a haunted mansion and gets to see all the dead people. Damn you, Darren. I'm so jealous. So that's when they enter the mansion, and they kind of hear music coming from a room that they start to follow where it's coming from, which is in the north part of the room. And I actually have a quick little video for you. Darren had to make sure to let everyone know, even the ghosts, that he was single. Christian. That's so cool. So cool. Ooh. Oh. No costumes, people. Real fashion. And I have another quick little video for you, too. Ooh. Oh, Christian. Hell yeah. Everywhere is haunted. Hell yeah. So I wanted to add this clip for the whole reason of last week was people were not happy that they didn't get to, like, Parjay was the last one to get to the table and he had to take the last model card, of course. Do you think, I want to know in the comments below and in the chat, do you think what Parjay did by putting out the models cards and letting people choose this week was a good idea? Because I think it was. And I liked that at the end as well, Octavio said, is everybody happy with their models? That way I gave somebody the opportunity to be like, actually, I kind of want to switch. I know at this point they have not come up with their concept, their idea, their design, none of that. But it still gives everybody the opportunity at that point to be like, listen, I'm actually not really happy with my model. Can I switch? Is it okay? Before it goes any further into the competition. I thought that at least laying the cards out so everyone can see what models are there too, I thought gave a very good perspective. And I kind of think that he should have had the opportunity to choose a model first, considering everything that happened last week and him winning for last week's episode. Speak now or forever hold your peace, right? I think PR should assign models as random. Yeah, I think they should. Now, did they ever? That's something I'm going to have to look up for us. I think they used to assign models as random, and then there were some episodes where they were allowed to choose their models. But I'm pretty sure in the beginning of Project Runway, they did not have a say on who their model was. That is definitely something I am going to look up. If you do know, please let me know in the comments below, because that's very interesting. Yeah. I think it should be more random. I like that they have this now opportunity of not just plain old boring size 0 models where you have, the more curvier women and you do have the men that are included in some challenges. I think that's awesome. And I think maybe those should be the challenges that they get to choose who they would like as a model, but not for every challenge. I think, that they shouldn't do that, because that's what's going to cause issues. And we saw that in episode 2, like the second challenge, there was already issues with the whole model situation. So I thought that was pretty cool that Parjay did that. And I just wanted to see what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments below for sure what you guys thought about that. If you thought it was a great idea that he did that. But now that we have our models, they actually get a chance to go upstairs and look around to find inspiration. And this is where we go to our next photo. So this is them entering into one of the rooms. And Darren makes sure he he lets the ghost know, again, that he's single, and he even gives out his phone number when he enters George's room to George, because I think him and George have a thing going on. Because he was like, oh, George, he passed away from a broken heart. I was like, oh, poor George. So he let George know his phone number and that he could call him, you know. It's all good. So next from George's room, though, they do move up into the attic quarters where some of the designers actually got inspired from the gatherings on the lamps, the fabrics that are in the room, and other things that are in the attic. And that's also, though, when the lights start to flicker and then Bones scattered down those stairs as fast as he could, and everybody else followed, which I do not blame him. So they get downstairs and they have 30 minutes to sketch and design their look for this week's challenge. So we have this one of them sketching, and we have this one of them sketching. So after they're done sketching, it's like 1 a.m. now. Everybody's tired, so they want to go find out where they're going to be sleeping, which is in the south parlor room on cots and sleeping bags and all together. And I was thinking to myself, you know, those beds up in the attic actually looked much more comfortable than these cots in the south parlor, which, if I did see correctly, I do think some of them actually went and stayed up in the attic from what it looked like when they got up the next morning. But next thing you know, it's morning and it's time for them to wake up. And Octavia asks, what were all those noises? And lovely Darren, he goes, oh, that was me and George getting it on. He didn't say getting it on, but that was me and George getting it on. I thought that was funny too. Darren's a little goofball. I love it. Him and Kenneth are so cute. I can't wait to show you the little sneak peek of the Instagram that I got for you guys. Definitely, like I said, check out my Instagram after this. Check out the designers, add them, because they do a lot of different lives that you guys can check out and get the inside scoop. And I will be doing that for sure for you guys as well, and getting clips and whatnot for you for future episodes to come. And any questions that you guys may have, always feel free to leave them, and I'd be happy to ask them when I see them go live. So they get up, and it's time to go to Mood, and they get to go home, get freshened up, go to Mood, go shopping. And as soon as they arrive to Mood, Christian pops up and he scares them all. And everyone was a little taken back, of course. They're a bunch of scaredy cats. There's a couple of them that weren't too scared, but they find out they got 30 minutes and $500 to spend. And that's when we get the first glimpse of Bones' sketch of what he is going to be designing, which is, I love this design. It's a dress, which we also find out that they're also allowed to bring fabric from home. So they're allowed to bring one piece of fabric from their home, and they can use it whenever they want to in the competition. So Bones lets us know that he is going to be using the fabric that he brought from home, which is a gold color fabric that actually matched the carpet that was in the south parlor of the mansion. And then we find out that Darren is doing a red dress, which I don't know why my mouse is going so slow. It's being a pain in the butt. Here we go. So this is Darren's dress right here. And Christian was kind of shocked at his color scheme, though his concept was a blood red, which the whole narrative is a woman who goes to a ceremony to bathe in blood because she is going to be sacrificed to Satan. And this is another sketch that he did as well. So at this point, Christian turns and we hear Xander's colors are also going to be red and black. And at this point, Christian is like, oh my God, black and red, black and red. Nobody wants any fabulous colors like midnight blue, purples, deep ochres, which he then turns to Christina and looks at Christina and goes, and what color are you using? And she responds, black. He's just like, oh my God, here we go. At this point, there's 15 minutes left, which then we do get to see a glimpse of what Chastity is planning on creating for this week. So this is a glimpse of Chastity's design, and she's picking out some amazing mesh kind of lacy fabric because she wants to make a more fitted bodysuit with a detachable skirt made of a white mesh to give a haunted kind of illusion effect. So then Christian finds Kenneth, who actually was looking at some dark green silky fabric, and he wants to use it to create a green dress. He's not kind of not a typical silhouette kind of a dress, but we do see from his sketch right here, it's going to have some gold or some yellow, and I like the way that the sketch is. It's kind of hard to understand. I like how this is, but what we eventually do see is not what it translated from the sketch at all. So Christian was finally happy that someone was listening to him, but he was just nervous at how he was going to create this from the color and the silk material. And at this point, it's time is up. The designers have to leave Mood, head to the workroom because they have 8 hours left before the end of day 1. These days go by so fast. So they get into the workroom, mannequins are falling apart, lights keep flickering, and there's actually a storm brewing outside. And strange things keep happening as they are working and putting together their pieces. And Katie explains that they believe at this point, George has left the mansion and followed them back to the workroom. I think George and Aaron's here with us. Hey, girl. I think George and Darren have a thing going on at this point that George followed them back. What's up, honey?
I hear echoes, so I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Are you watching me still on YouTube?
Is that better?
Maybe. Is it better on Aaron?
Yeah, there it goes.
All right. There we go. So they're in the workroom. Zayden and Bones are in the sewing room where Zayden learns his design isn't going to be something like a boogeyman or someone killed you kind of theme. His haunted chic design is going to be more of a voodoo from a priestess, Maria Laveau, who is well known in New Orleans. She is someone that is powerful, and people used to pay her money to do voodoo spells, so he was inspired by her. And I do have a photo of that sketch as well, which it's a mermaid silhouette gown, and he wants to use the red because, of course, the red equals terror and horror, which when I saw this sketch, I was like, how is this girl going to walk? And come to find out, that was one of the biggest issues later on. So at this point, there's 5 hours left in the day. We learn a little bit about Chastity's dad and how he used to take her to Astro World to see all the creepy crawly things in October when she was a kid for her birthday. He gave her the nickname Lady Godiva, which means gift from God or God's gifted. Her dad actually had a stroke, which led to a heart attack, and that they did not see coming, and he had passed away from it and really shook the family. And the reason she's a big dreamer is because of her dad, and she's not going to give up even being in the bottom and almost going home and she's going to put everything she has into this week with her inspiration, and that's where her inspiration and passion comes from, is her dad. And this is her working her little butt off, which I love what she's doing. I feel for her with a time crunch, because she's like, when she's home, it's easy to, take your time and, put things together. But when you're doing a challenge and you're on a time crunch, the clock goes. You can't make that clock stop either. So at this point, Christian comes in. It's 4 hours till the end of the day. He is happy to see things are looking dark and spooky in the workroom. Christian starts off by going over to Octavio, who is thinking about shapes. And he's thinking about a bubble dress, which Christian thinks looks very modern and thinks could really be stunning depending on how the hem of the dress is. And I can tell you right now, I was not digging this dress at all. I felt like I didn't understand it. I don't. There are things about, I love Octavio as a designer. I just don't understand his designs. They're just not for me. Everything is just so baggy and fluid. Like, I don't know. There's just something about his designs I'm not so into. Did she leave me? She left me.
No.
Welcome back.
I'm here. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know. I'm trying to mod at the same time, like trying to figure out how to be on panel.
Mod. There's nobody in the chat. Don't worry.
No, I know. Well, I mean, but okay. So I'm challenged. So I'm trying to watch it on the computer, and I can't figure, like, it's just too much. My brain is overwhelmed because I'm trying to understand it and I can't. I just need to just
relax, girlfriend.
Okay.
So here's Octavio. Christian likes it. That's all that matters. And he's just worried about the hem on the bottom, but he thinks that it can look chic and elegant at the same time. And Octavio wants it to be like that little black dress, but have that bam wow factor, which I get. I get it. I just don't understand the bubble. So
I was impressed with it, and I normally don't care for his design. So
see, and that's why fashion is in the eye of the beholder. Everyone's fashion taste is different. You liked it, and I'm thinking, I don't think that would look too well on me personally, and I didn't think it flattered her very much.
No, but it was haunted chic, so
exactly.
I get it. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I don't. When I watch the show, I don't ever think of anything that they have on the runway. I don't ever compare it to anything I'd wear.
I think I am this season because there are more curvier models, and I can picture myself wearing some of these designs now, where like past Project Runways, I never really saw it as something I would wear. And it's interesting because I never thought I'd also go to a creator or designer after Project Runway and be like, oh my God, I can order this from their site and it's something that I would wear and love as well. I mean, granted it's a tie-dyed t-shirt, but it's my favorite tie-dyed t-shirt and it fits beautifully. And I also have face masks that match it that I think it was she was on season 17. I'll have to get back to you on the designer. I know her name is Jen, though. She's amazing. A good idea, because I love Project Runway is one of my favorites to watch, even talk about. I know a lot of people are digging this after show review, so maybe we should. That would be interesting. I know they are doing a Project Runway redemption after season 19 because they had in the commercials during the Project Runway that they were putting 5 designers up on the screen, and you can go to bravotv.com and choose from the 5 which one you want to see on Project Runway Redemption. So this week, go to bravotv.com and you can choose which of those 5 designers you would like to see on the upcoming season of Project Runway Redemption. So,
Oh, that's good. That's good.
just
I'll
a
do
little
that.
tidbit that I saw in the commercials as well. Definitely
And
something to check out.
for me, I love this show. I don't know why, because I don't have a passion for fashion, and I don't love runway, all that stuff. I'm a country girl, and I'm happy with sloppy clothes and t-shirts, and
Hell yeah.
but the artistry aspect of it, and the creative and the designing, I love. I grew up under my mother's sewing machine. She was almost a professional seamstress. She should have been. And just growing up in handmade clothes and being a part of designing my clothes, I love it. So I think that's why this
you
season
sew
just
like I
speaks to me.
sew. That was something we both found out that we both do and have something in common. But I got to help her try to figure out the bobbin the other day with her sewing machine.
Yes, I called and I'm like, okay, just let me put you on the screen so you can see I'm about to throw this machine out the wall. And that was a simple fix. I needed to get some of that compressed air and blow out and clean it out. And the bobbin was a problem too, and got that fixed. So that was nice.
But that's why I like Project Runway as well, though, because I like doing my own DIY kind of projects and making stuff, not necessarily clothes, but the artistry behind the thoughts and the sketches and the designs make it interesting to watch, and how these like designers come up with their concepts. It's amazing. See, this is why I love having you here too.
Oh.
So after we see Octavio's design, we have Darren, who is next up on Christian's roundabouts. And this is where Darren is starting to look. Christian goes over there and he goes, Darren, it's starting to look like Christmas presents that I did not want to get. Because there was a whole lot of red all over his table. And I mean, at first I was thinking, okay, the skirt's looking good. It's looking good. But while Darren had Christian there, he decided to ask him a question, which was, since he started this competition, he had been flopping so hard. And he didn't know if it was maybe because of his age, seeing that he's the youngest one there, or it's an experience thing. And he recalled how Christian had these moments when he was on Project Runway, because Christian was actually the youngest out of all the contestants of Project Runway. And it kind of brought Christian back to, him being on Project Runway. And he reassured Darren that there's clearly a reason that he's there. And he brings a different perspective. And don't ever doubt himself for being there. Just because he's young does not mean that he does not deserve to be in the competition. And like I said, Christian was the youngest person ever on Project Runway, and he ended up turning it into a multi-million-dollar business. And Darren can do the same. And it just feels that maybe he's having a hard time figuring out how to bring his conceptual mind to a finishing piece, or maybe he is psyching himself out in the middle of the competition. And Christian kind of reassures them, like, you'll get there, and just work on it. And that's Jaren jokes that this is the first time he's actually talked to Christian without having a panic attack even. And Christian kind of gives him the good luck and moves on to the next contestant to see who else is working. But I thought that was cute that they had a little moment together. And we got to reminisce about Christian being on Project Runway. Because Christian was that emo boy on Project Runway back in the day. So then he goes over to Bones, and Bones is working on this gown. And Christian's first thing is, he goes over Bones and says, have you made gowns before? Like, do you normally make gowns? And we find out that Bones normally does not make gowns. He's actually really never made a gown before, but he's going for a more of a sleek kind of girl that's walking to a party with a lucidity, as he calls it. Christian loves the fabric that he brought from home. Bones tells Christian that he wants to put a poof of gold fabric. And Christian immediately was like, what? A poof? A poof? No. Do not put this poof. And Bones kind of took, what he said. And he got caught up on this one with some of the elements. But he wanted Bones to get back to what he does best, which is the patchwork, his shapes, and his silhouettes, which I think that was a very good advice to give Bones, because for someone that doesn't normally make gowns, make the gown the way you want it, but make sure you have those elements that make you who you are as a designer in it. And he did add that. I don't think necessarily by the end it was everything that Bones was hoping. I think what happened was there was just too many ideas that Bones had in this one gown.
I don't know. I'll give you my comments as they're going down the runway.
Of course. So then we have Zayden, and Zayden, Christian goes over to him and he asks what he's making, and Zayden explains that he wants something that shows a figure. Christian isn't thrilled with the red silk fabric that he has, and he says to Zayden that the fabric that he has is going to show everything, every little thing. And Zayden's like, well, I have this other fabric, but I like this red because I think it's going to go with her skin tone very well, which I will give Zayden that. It goes very well with her skin tone. But Christian warns him again that with that material, you are going to see every wrinkle, every dimple, and it's going to be crazy balls, as Christian says.
And he could have,
like, yeah, okay, yeah.
If he was so insistent on using that red color, you know what I thought would have been chic and exciting and secretive, and I don't know, he could have used like a sliver of that red and made something. I don't know how to explain it. I wrote it in my notes, but I couldn't really convince myself of how to express it.
The voodoo,
right? But
the red, I didn't see it as more. I didn't see the red as a voodoo. I thought the black with the red would have been more of a voodoo kind of vibe.
If he would have, my thing is okay, a lot of people use black. That's fine. Yeah. Black, you could say, is essentially a bland color. So you want something bright and cheerful or bright and expressive. However, in my mind, I'm thinking he could have done that dress in black and put a tiny, tiny sliver of that red. And that black would have made that red pop.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it would have. The other fabric was black with the red underneath. So it still would have had that red, but he could have used the other red fabric someplace else, like maybe in the bustier area, and then the rest of the gown with the black.
And so the black would have been basically the blank canvas, and all you would have seen was that red, so little red, but it would have popped, and then it would have expressed that material that he brought from home so much more, because it did not work well with the model's figure.
No, not at all.
I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but that was my thoughts on it.
I think the color went very well with her skin tone, like he said, but it didn't work. Like, she couldn't move in it. The material, Christian was right. And even the judges said it to Zayden at the end too, was they got distracted by the dimples and the wrinkles and this bunching up here and there. And he uses the excuse that he had to change up the alteration at the last minute. But Christian
also,
had warned him from this was day one. Christian warned him.
But they had $500.
They did.
He could have done a lot. I mean, I've seen what they've made from the dollar store and out of paper.
Yeah.
And he had $500. He could have made something so luxurious and elegant for her body shape. I mean, she's got a beautiful body and a beautiful figure, and he just, I don't know. I'll leave it at that. I have this written on my notes.
He got the wrong fabric.
Mm-hmm, I agree. Because he's a good designer.
Oh, yeah. I love Zayden's designs. I loved last week's design, and I was upset having to see him in the bottom. I even liked his design concept that he was going for this week. I felt bad that, one, she couldn't move in it. She could barely get down the runway, and the fabric, he thought the fabric was going to give, and it didn't. It really didn't. And that was Christian giving his expert advice. You know, I get like people are, it's not Tim Gunn, where Tim Gunn knows fabric design and how things work. Christian was just another contestant like they were. So I think people don't take Christian's advice very seriously. Or and I think that is a big thing as well.
Also added to that, he's a man.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's ever been put in something that you can't move in. As a larger person, a full-figured person, it's not quite so easy to feel comfortable in something that isn't giving and forgiving. Yeah. And so I think he's young, he's a man, he didn't listen about the fabric. Maybe next time he will.
Exactly. And
I wonder if they watch this
kind of perspective.
Well, I guess the season's already been filmed, but man, if we were there helping them.
Oh, I know, right? That'd be awesome.
We all have opinions, right?
We do. Hey, we can always ask them our questions. Like I said, I was able to ask Kenneth if he had talked to Meg after everything that happened, and I have that clip to show you guys from the IG Live. So if you like see something, or you like, even you, Erin, if you see something or want to ask them something, let me know. So that way, when I'm sitting here bored and see that they go live on Instagram, I can ask those questions during the Instagram Live, because they do like to talk to their fans and answer the questions that people have about the show. So let me know. I'd be happy to ask. Then I can screen record it for everybody and we can play it.
Okay, I'll do that.
So after he goes to Zayden, Christian goes over to Coral. Coral, whose fabric is just fabulous. I love her fabric. And let's pull up that photo. And quick little side note, look at Kitty's face, all right? Just look at Kitty's face. She's like, what's Christian saying over there to Coral? But we find out that the fabric, this is another piece of fabric that Coral brought from home. So Bones and Coral are both using the fabric that they brought from home for this challenge. And we find out that her aunt, who had cancer and passed away, actually was the one who bought this fabric for her. And there was a lot of meaning for her on why she wanted to use this fabric for this challenge. So Coral is from Mexico, and they celebrate the Day of the Dead, which is on November 2nd. And the Day of the Dead is when they remember people that have passed away. So she wanted this dress to celebrate her aunt in that kind of a perspective, and use the fabric that her aunt had bought for her. So this is her sketch, and it's a mermaid dress where everything is very symmetrical, and it's her vision of a haunted kind of theme. Christian asked what else is going to be added to the dress, which Coral says that she has this fabric that she can use to make a train, which Christian immediately was like, shut it down. Do not ruin this beautiful dress with this amazing fabric, with that other fabric, and make a train. He says to keep the silhouette and the figure and keep it very much the way she has it and figure it out from there, which she does take his advice, which I thought that was amazing. Then Christian moves on to Kenneth, which Christian is trying to figure out what Kenneth's concept is, and I'm trying to figure out what Kenneth's concept is, because I'm like, I'm not really understanding. And I guess Kenneth was going for this green camouflagey kind of fabric, and Christian just asked him again, like, what is your concept? You need to figure out your concept. And he tries to ask him, what kind of inspiration that he gets from creepy things, maybe some bugs or rats. And then that's when we find out that Kenneth had 40 rats when he was growing up as a kid, and he took care of them like babies. But then we also find out that he doesn't like snakes, and it actually reminded him of the snake figurine on the mirror in the mansion. So now Kenneth has a concept that he can actually go by. So I thought that was very helpful. And the material, the see-through pattern material, kind of has that snaky vibe. I just don't think he used it the way he should have. Like I said, his sketch, I loved his sketch, but when he started putting it on the mannequin, it turned out to be something completely way different than the sketch. Anyways, moving on, Christian heads over to Katie. And I thought the same thing Christian did as soon as he saw Katie's design. He goes, please tell me you're not giving me a sailor vibe. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's giving me a Popeye Goes West kind of vibe. And she's sitting there denying it. She's like, no, it's just stripes. It was giving me a sailor vibe too, Katie. I'm sorry. So.
You know how I feel about Katie. I think she has the ability.
I do too.
I really wish she would quit with these clown suit things she's doing. Because
I get where she's when she's sitting here talking, she says, like she's the type of person where color makes her happy, and she is on a mission for people to not worry about, does this color make me look the slimmest, but instead, does this color make me happy? And this challenge is completely opposite of who she is as a designer, because she's going for horror. And when she thinks horror, she thinks black, because black is just a blank kind of canvas and kind of doesn't have emotion, which
she could have done like a deep, deep purple.
She could have. Yes.
There's so much she could have done with color. Like I said with the other one, I really, really, really hope she quits doing this, because she is in one of my top 4. And I have confidence that she will do awesome things if she will listen to the guidance that she's given. I think she could go all the way to the end.
I agree.
But I think she gets stuck in that, I'm an artist, I have to be creative, I have to do things my way. If she would just listen to constructive criticism and step out of that,
I think she should, because she's also one of the designers that didn't go to fashion school. She is known for making fabrics. She is known for her artistic work behind her designs, the fabric designs, the patterns, things like that. She's not as skilled when it comes to designing outfits. So she needs that little bit of a help and a push. So when Christian's sitting there saying, don't do the stripes, or if you're going to do the stripes, think back to the mansion and what kind of stripes you can use to get a quirky, happy, creepy kind of vibe.
I would have kept the stripes, honestly, and not done all that garb she put on it. And I would have turned it into some sort of play on someone who's broken out of a prison with the old timey stripes.
That's what I was thinking too. But this is it's a masquerade ball. So you would have to make it a gown kind of prisoner.
She could have done it.
I think she could have done it as well.
She could have done it. Yeah, she could have done it.
So she kind of gets the concept thinking back to the creepy doll in the mansion, and that's where she now changes her whole concept to that creepy doll. So by this time, Christian has made all of his rounds, and there's 1 hour left before the end of the day, which Christian says, I'll be back tomorrow with the models. You got an hour left, and go home and get some rest. So we come back to the next day where they have another 8-hour day to go. And this is them coming in. Yay, 8 hours, day 2. And they get busy to work. And as you can see, Katie completely changed her design. And Chastity asked her how she's feeling, and Katie's like, I'm feeling sweaty, but I'm going to somehow incorporate this little bit of pink somewhere into the design. She doesn't know how, but she's going to incorporate that little bit of pink fabric that she has into the design. And she came up with like a whole new design concept, like I said, with the creepy doll theme. And she actually took the stripes down and she put them more vertical and like a stitch kind of design pattern, which I got, but it didn't concept to more of a doll vibe. I thought she could have used the stitching more to make it look more like a doll stitching kind of vibe.
You know what I would have done? Sorry, I have to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
I would have taken that right shoulder and I would have somehow maneuvered it to go straight up, and formed like almost like two-sided, like you have, because this would have held her story. Like she doesn't like just black and white. She wants color.
Yeah.
So she could have ran with the story and put herself into it as far as she wants to hold true to, she has to have color. She doesn't like dark colors or no color. So to me, she could have made like almost a divide. Like if it's going to be a masquerade, she could have taken that and somehow put it straight up. You know how, I want to say it's Sabrina from Houston, who had the like fan. She could have done something that would have worked.
Oh, you mean the fan
way.
on the dress? That was Chastity. That had the fan.
Okay, so maybe Chastity. Yes. So she could have done something to where she could have done like a little doll lacy neck, but made it stick up. But then she could have still made it chic and haunted at the same time. I don't know. I'd have to just draw it. I
kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain it more than she could have definitely done something different. I mean,
granted, was not chic.
She was safe, and the judges did say, hey, your name wasn't called, but we did like where you were going, but you stayed true to yourself in that same format. So that was a good, because she, by the end of day 2, she was feeling like she was going home, that she didn't get any sleep that night before day 3. And she even packed up her suitcase ready to leave for day 3 because she thought she was going home. So, I mean, I think she just overworked herself for this episode. It wasn't her vibe, and that's the whole point of it being a contest. Not everything is going to be your style, but you have to still keep your style in with the concept of what that theme is for that challenge. And I thought she could have done better.
I think you can stay true to who you are, but I always heard the word with Madonna, reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
You can reinvent yourself, but stay true to yourself. And nobody wants the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. So Katie and Chastity were talking. At this point, Christian comes in. They got 7 hours with their models for the fitting, and the models come in and they get ready to start fitting their models for what they're working on. And Christian goes right over to, I believe it was Darren. First Chastity, excuse me. He goes over to Chastity first, and he asked what is going on with her outfit, and Chastity says that she was kind of waiting for her model to come in so she could fit everything, and she wants to have more of a couture kind of gown. She explains that, she needed her model first so she could build off of it, but this is where she's like, I like to hand sew things, and she's learning quickly that you can't just sit there and hand sew things, that there's not enough time. And then we have right here her fitting her model, Coral, and then Christian goes over to Darren, who says, poor Mimi, the model Mimi, every challenge so far, no one wants her to see why she's walking down the runway. She was Anna's model last week where they covered her face. And now this week she's Darren's model where he's covering her face, and he's going to add like dangly things onto the mask. So she's going to be even harder to see walking down the runway, which I thought that was kind of funny. But this is where we also get to see a sneak peek of Octavio's model fitting. And here he is fitting his model, which he is struggling with the proportion of the bubble on the dress, and then needs to figure out if she's going to, like, how she's going to walk in it. At least Octavia kind of realized he needs to do something, because if not, she's not going to be able to walk down the runway if he ties it. So he actually made a drawstring, so that way she was able to walk down the runway, but still keep the whole concept of fitting into that bubble-shaped figure. That's when we then see Christian go over to Zayden, who is going to cut the bottom and add some flair to it. And Christian asked him, oops, I went back right here. So Christian asked him if he's loving what the fabric is doing and how it is bunching. And Zayden says, oh, it's just because it's not sewn yet. And Christian's like, okay, we'll see. Christian is trying to warn him yet again that this fabric is not the right fabric. So then Christian moves on to his next victim, which is Kenneth. And Kenneth is concept with his look with the model in the front. And Christian immediately says to him, like, Kenneth, you need to focus on the front being perfectly exactly the same, and everything also in the back needing to be the same. I think Christian got also thrown off too, because the model was pretty much naked as well. And he's like, well, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? Like, the back was horrible, but the front, you can see where Christian was kind of giving him the advice where it was not even. I think if he made this even and this even, it would have looked better, along with the whole draping being even. And this, like I said, was not what he had sketched. He had sketched something similar with like this and this, but not the whole cloak vibe. Like, it bunched in the back. And I thought that would have looked better, like the actual sketch that he had originally had. And I thought he was actually going to use this green material to put underneath, which would give it that snaky kind of vibe. Because right now she's pretty much naked, and it's not something. It's a masquerade ball. You're wearing a gown, not. I mean, yes, there are a lot of fashion designs now that are all see-through, and it's the new thing, but not when you're just looking at underwear. It like brings your eye right to the underwear. You got to do something for her. Or at least, like, if you're going to do like a snake theme, like, take the fabric, maybe like patch in fabric in like a spiral motion underneath the dress, and
Or
make
he could
sure,
have,
like you said, that these are all even.
if he was going to do a snake, he could have formed some type of snake to wrap from her neck to her ankles with that green and that black.
Everything. Yes. I agree. Could have done that as well. it wasn't. I've seen Kenneth's work. Now, Kenneth dresses a lot of celebrities, which I have some behind the scenes for you of some Golden Globe outfits that he created that celebrities wore during the Golden Globes just this week that were amazing. And I don't understand where his concept was going with this. And I think he threw himself quite off with this whole design. It was not his best work at all. So you can tell that Kenneth is kind of feeling the pressure and the time is getting to him, but he says that he's going to sit there and he's going to work on making everything proportion and exactly the same, which even at the end, it wasn't perfect and time just got out of his hands with this. So then we get to see Praje's model walking in his design, which there's no bottom, but the top is beautiful. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think he has a good thing going on with his little sneak peek of his model fitting. And then Christian spins his way over to Chantel and her model, who she explains her concept is from Predator. And she's trying to go for Predator's wife. So here's Aaron's real quick, as this is when Christian is spinning his way to Chantel. And then we get to see Chantel, which I love her design. I don't understand the whole Predator theme, but I love the dress. I absolutely love it. I think it's amazing. I don't see where it's very horror. I know Predator is like, alien horror kind of, but I don't see where she was going with her concept. It's a beautiful dress, but it's not very much. I don't think it fits the challenge with the horror theme. So Christian tries to tell her that, Predator, okay, like, do your thing, keep going, girl. So then he goes over to Anna, who explains her concept as being an emotion that she feels from a past relationship. And she uses her emotions to kind of express in her design, which I completely understand, like the dark kind of bride theme, and that's very gothic-y. And she talks about how, like, other designs that she does, she uses like where things kind of like are tight in certain areas, kind of like a choking kind of way of describing being like not choked in a relationship, but feeling like you can't breathe in a relationship, which I thought that was pretty cool how she uses her emotion in her concept and design. But Christian asks what she's like, you're covering this beautiful dress. What else are you going to do to the dress underneath? And she says that she's going to add tulle to the side. And he's like, no, girl, do not ruin this elegant dress by adding tulle to each side. And she does take his advice, and I think that helped her a lot. See, the people that take Christian's advice are actually doing well by the end of the challenge. Just saying. So then we get another sneak peek real quick of Christina's outfit, which I'm not really understanding her like horror theme with this. Did you understand this horror theme with this outfit? Because I didn't really understand it.
When we get to that point, I have notes on it.
Okay. And then we have Sabrina, which I loved this like kind of ruffle. I don't know. It was different. Definitely different. My gauge thing fell out. I'm playing with it. I need to not play with it. Side note. So then by that time, it's the end of the day. They go home. And like I said, Katie was feeling the pressure of things not going her way. And she barely got any sleep, and she was like up since 4:20 in the morning and decided that she was going to pack all of her belongings, that she was probably going to be the person to go home. So she was really worried, and we move into them coming into the workroom where we find out they have 3 hours until the runway. So they immediately get in that workroom and get busy. Before we know it, Christian is bringing in the models, and the models make their grand entrance, which was amazing. And then, we're in the behind the scenes. So makes their grand entrance and head off to the Tresemme hair salon and Maybelline makeup studio. Zayden's model is struggling with walking, and this is where he feels maybe he should have listened to Christian. At the last 5 minutes before the model is getting on the runway, he's now saying, yeah, I maybe should have listened to Christian. It's a little too late for that, buddy. So I'm going to remove this now from the studio because it's runway time, and I got to pull up the runway video for us. Hour last night, she had candles everywhere.
It was literally from 4 in the afternoon until 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, gosh.
Actress who is Oscar nominated, Golden Globe
So gorgeous.
winning, Taraji P. Henson.
Yay, Taraji!
To see Taraji, I am gagging. I am obsessed with this woman. She looks good. Nobody rocks.
I think they matched too. Like, it just so happened that Chastity and Taraji matched perfectly.
I want some of the clothes you guys are wearing.
Taraji has great fashion style, by the way, too. Just FYI.
So, bring on the hauntingly chic. Let's get
All right. Okay.
Seems very confident and comfortable.
We got Coral up first. I think looks gorgeous. Now, I didn't take screenshots of each outfit, so we're going to stop for each model for this runway show. So Coral's up first. I love her design. I thought she should have been in the top for sure. It's a Day of the Dead inspired mermaid gown, finished off with a poof tulle hem and a black fringe cape. And I'd love to see her lean into more heavy, source material and remain simple but efficient. She is very good in her designs. I love Coral's look. What did you feel about Coral's look?
Oh, I thought she stole the show. What did my notes say? Remind me.
So your notes say, for Coral, black dress, hauntingly chic, hit spot on, back and shoulders perfect, fit the model, all the different designs executed and completed each other.
Okay. Yeah, I thought she did amazing. I thought that the story of the material was wonderful, and I thought it was fabulous.
I thought she could have done a cooler mask though, because for Day of the Dead, they have those really cool skeleton masks, and I thought she could have done a Day of the Dead kind of mask theme instead of just the handheld mask. That was the only thing that I thought she could have done different. Other than that, I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I loved it too.
Beautiful. Oof. And you can't even tell the model has no underwear on, by the way. That's the purpose. That's what I like seeing.
It is like a dream come
And then we have Project. Now, I loved the accessory. So with the black little heart bag and the red made it look like that, like Eat Your Heart Out blood red theme, which I thought was pretty freaking amazing. But it was a crimson off-the-shoulder A-line gown with a stunning mesh headpiece decked out in glitter and feathers. I'm thinking it was not so haunted, but it was so delightedly made and cared for that I thought it was amazing. I don't think he played it safe at all. I think that was his way of expressing horror. And your notes said, had a Project had a model with an amazing curve. Didn't do anything with them. Didn't like the red. Was not chic. Was not haunted. Could go home. The mask was not the challenge. Dress is not designer, in your opinion. And he had immunity, though, so he couldn't have gone home, unfortunately.
I know.
Yeah. It wasn't
I think
horror.
it looked like a cheap 1980s wedding dress with those big bubble shoulders.
Prom dress. Yeah. A red 1980s.
I think if he wanted to stick with this, he should have taken her waistline down much lower.
Yes.
When
we saw the model fitting, there was no skirt yet. And I liked where he was going with the top. And I was thinking like the skirt was going to be lower. And honestly, like I said, it gives that blood red theme. I think the purse is what did it, but the purse is an accessory he picked off the wall to give it that your heart out kind of theme.
I just didn't like it. It was one of my lower.
Yeah, no, not a problem.
Dresses.
I thought that was pretty cool, like how she played it up, though. Definitely, he you can tell he doesn't do gowns very often.
Oh my God, my look, I love it. It looks clean, it's sophisticated. I think that I did a great job showing the judges who am I as a designer. Creating this beautiful
I don't know why I'm
scratch.
skipping like this. So let's go back. So this is Chantel's, which I love the dress, but it's not giving us horror. It's not giving us horror. It really is not giving the horror. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful gown. It's a beautiful, beautiful gown. But it's not giving horror. So for Chantel, it's a shiny curve hug dress in silver, accented with a jagged cutouts along the skirt. It's kind of looks like a spider web, in my opinion. And it's a very stylish garment, but it wasn't eerie, and it was kind of playing it safe. But I loved the dress. It's just not doing it for the challenge, being haunted. That's how I felt about that.
What did my notes say?
Your notes say for Chantel, yes, clean, sophisticated, color, not a food choice.
Not a good choice. That's autocorrect.
It's cheap, but could have used some haunting sheer. Model's hair could have been up, needed something around the neck.
Yes. I just feel like the dress was like 99% there, but what mattered was the 1% that wasn't. It left me like, oh, you just almost had it and you didn't.
Yeah, she was like going for a predator's wife, and I don't understand the whole predator's wife thing at all either.
Yeah.
I don't see predator in it. Like when I
She
saw the
almost,
dress, I saw like a spider web. You know, like spider webs glisten when the raindrops hit it, kind of a vibe. That's what
I
I
mean,
was getting from it.
I could see the predator with the cutouts by the thighs and the design. I could see that. I just
Okay.
think that I think the color could have been any other color and would have been amazing. And I just think that she was almost there. I really love this designer, so
I love Chantel as a designer. She's one of I have to look back because I don't even remember who my top 4 are anymore, but I know I have Bones as one of them, and I was very disappointed with his look tonight. I was so
yeah, I think
disappointed.
Bones is not one of my top 4.
I just love his personality, I think, more than anything, and that's what gets me with Bones. All right, so I like the sleeves on the dress. I will say that too. Definitely not haunted enough, darling.
See, I think her model's hair looks sloppy.
Yeah, and with them giving the option, saying, I want my model's hair this way, I want her makeup looking like this, they get more opportunity to make the look more complete. And I think she went very simplistic with it. I think Octavia's model with the hair kind of.
I think my notes even say that.
I just don't understand the bubble.
It's his aesthetic.
Yes, it is. So this is Octavia. And as I said for him, I said it presents the first ball gown he's ever created. So that's a first for him. This is his first ball gown he's ever created. A ballooning black dress that clinches the knees, creating what Ellen later calls architectural quality. The judges fell over themselves with praise, but less convinced. Like I said, it's eye-catching, the silhouette, and it feels encapsulated, and it's his aesthetic. I just don't understand that bubble part of the garment.
I think that part has you looking twice. That's the mystery.
It's something we haven't seen before, for sure.
Well, there's mystery in it. It's like, whoa, wait, I want to see this now. What did he do, and what was that? And that to me is mysterious.
You liked it. The hair was great. It was mistress.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yep. So you nailed exactly what you felt. I'm gonna push my notes down. So next we have Bones coming up.
I want to be on top.
It's definitely a different look to a simple black dress. Put it that way. Give that leg, girl.
It's literally exactly everything that I wanted. I didn't take
it kind of gives me Mardi Gras kind of theme.
I feel like it's a bad Lion King, like.
I've got feathers on the mask. Did not help.
I've got opinions. I
know. I want to push right, boom, where she's going around. So we're gonna stop right there. And for Bones, I said the one shoulder metallic gold top is paired with a liquid light green skirt that features a side slit with fringe. And I liked that look. I did. But it wasn't haunted. And I don't know. It's something. It's not made for a masquerade. It could be like a New Orleans kind of masquerade kind of theme, but not a haunted masquerade ball theme, in my opinion. I liked it, but it did not fit the challenge, which was haunted chic.
Mm-hmm.
And you said for your notes for Bones, I have to scroll down for yours.
I was hard on him.
You're always hard on Bones. I'll give you
Mhm.
that. Don't let her fool you. She's always hard on Bones since I said I loved him. It's literally exactly, you said it's literally exactly everything you have already done.
And
it seems more of Robin Hood than chic or haunted. I'm not a professional seamstress, and I could have designed and sewn that. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, Erin.
And that's what he said. It's literally everything. And I'm like, yes, it's literally everything you've done for the past 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, I can see. I think he added too many different concepts. Like, it was a 2-piece number, the top and the skirt, but then you added the slits, which was beautiful, but then you added the fringe, and there were just too many elements. He could have maybe done away with the fringe, kept the nice long slit, and I don't know, he could have added something to make it more of a haunted kind of vibe. I think the mask made it look too New Orleans.
Too much. Yeah.
Like,
it's like less is more. Like
exactly.
less is more in this case.
But I liked his design. It just wasn't horror themed.
Right. No, it exactly, I guess. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't think he should have been on the bottom like they had him. I think he could have been more safe than on bottom because there was other people that I thought played it way too safe where he tried. He at least tried. He had a lot of elements. And here we have Zayden's.
Exceptions of not having the black tulle on it because I really thought that would have given it a different look and elevated.
So it's all red, no black tulle, but she can barely move. And I don't understand the back. He could have made that like a bow or something. It kind of just looks like he forgot to cut the fabric on the back. I'm not really understanding it.
I think this is the one where I was really frustrated with the material.
Which the material, Christian was absolutely right about the material, and I will give Christian that. So the model couldn't walk. Christian predicted that the fabric of his strapless red gown would crumple and bunch in places that he didn't want it. And sadly, this dress just looked cheap to me. And I love Zayden. I think he is a very talented designer, and it did not show his skill at all.
What did I say about it in the notes?
So your notes said that not a fan of the red, also had a curvy model, could have done so much more. It's a mermaid dress. Simple, no risk, haunted chic. Nope, it was too safe. And I agree.
Yeah. I like Zayden. I think he's talented.
So talented. He needs to push himself, though, in some aspects of different challenges. And like I've said, not every challenge is going to be for every designer. Not every designer is going to be A+ for every single challenge. It's not going, that's the whole point of it being a competition and a challenge, is it's to push you beyond your design aspect.
And again,
who you are.
They had $500.
Yes.
He really, really could have done something completely different and just wowed everybody.
That voodoo. I don't see the voodoo in it. The voodoo doll, that was cool, little accessory. But like we said, you could have kept the red top for the bustle kind of corset, but then you could have had the black with the red. And that would have had the red at the bottom where you needed it to show just that little bit. Even without the tulle, it would have came out perfect. or the nice red shoes. I just, it was too much red, and like I said, it looked cheap. And he is not a cheap designer at all.
It was one of those things where, again, he could have taken a complete black, dark canvas, and he could have taken one sliver of that red, like a Black Widow. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know, that
just
one
the top
little
portion could have been red, and that would have looked beautiful.
But just the tiniest little sliver of red, like a Black Widow spider.
Or even like a patch where the heart is, too.
Yes,
you know?
yes. Less is more. Less is more. If he wanted so much red, that one little patch would have been so much red.
I know. You're right. You're absolutely right. So now we have Christina, which I don't understand the concept.
Oh, I feel really good. Like, I did really like my look. My fabric is looking great, beautiful. I love it. The shape
and she has, I hate to say it, she has the same kind of fabric that Zayden has, but in black on the sides. And you can't tell, you could tell where it's bunching and dippling a little bit, but it's less because it's in the black. You can't really tell where it's dimpling and rippling.
But those two color patterns, it looked like two crests fighting each other for attention. I hated it. I hated it.
She's sending out this scoop neck black ball gown with a rectangle patch of multicolored sequins. And I just don't get it because it's not looking like a gown. It's like a dress that you would wear, kind of adding kind of a gown like to the side, and then you're pairing it with tiny sunglasses lined with dangling crystals, and it just gave me like a Y2K kind of vibe, not spooky.
If she wanted to incorporate those fabrics, I would have done something on the thighs or under her arms.
It was not horror. I thought she should have been, as much as I love her as a designer, I felt like she should have been on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Bones' gown compared to hers, I don't understand why she was safe and he was on the bottom.
There you go.
His was more of a horror kind of theme than hers, in my opinion, when it comes to that.
Hers was just horrible.
Exactly. And your notes, Christina, what did you do to me this week? Aww. No, this is from the Sears catalog. No design, no high fashion, no chic, no haunted. It's a mess. And I agree. She should have been in the bottom, in my opinion. I love her, but she should have been in the bottom. It was not, I wasn't doing it for me. I wasn't doing it for you either.
And honestly, I don't know who got booted out, so don't tell me, because I guess I didn't finish watching it. Maybe I did.
And I felt like I
Really
achieved
sad.
what I wanted in this look.
I was sad. I cried for him.
Oh, I remember who it was now.
So next we have Sabrina, which I love what's going on here. I do. I love it.
I like it as well.
It's weird. It's like it's
More importantly, my model feels
kind of like a bat. It reminds me of a bat. Which is haunted. But it's not the best gown I've seen. I think it was good where it was safe. But so it's giving me a bat meets witch vibe, which kind of is the haunted kind of theme. But
and she's a plus size model.
Shoulders and the draping in the back netting, it just swallowed the model.
I loved it. I thought it was fine. I thought for a plus size.
Yes, in your notes, I did see that. You put Yes, yes, yes. It's edgy, it's chic, it's haunting, fits the model perfectly. Design is perfect everywhere. She made the curve model look so good. Neck and accents perfect.
Okay.
And see, I felt like the tooling in the front swallowed the model just a little bit. There could have been I don't think so. I would have kept the upper piece of tooling, but not the middle or the back, especially not the back.
Oh, see, I love the back. To me, she looks like a butterfly. Like a dark butterfly.
She does look like a butterfly. See, I was seeing it more of a bat, but yeah, a butterfly is a better way of looking at it.
I'm hoping they see my aesthetic come through. I'm feeling confident.
Now, remember, Sabrina's the one who had the bad prom dress the very first night.
She did.
There was a reason there's a reason they kept her because she can design.
Yes, she can. I agree. She's a great designer. They're all really good designers in their own aspects, but it's a competition and a challenge, and you need to meet requirements for each challenge. You got to try your best for each. Even if it's not your aesthetic, you got to still try, and that's the whole purpose, is being put in a situation where your client might say, this is what I want. It might not be who you are as a designer, but you want that client and you want to make that client happy. So you're going to do it to the best of your ability.
But also part of being a designer is saying, okay, this is what the client wants. And I just don't want my name on that. And so I will walk away from this client. I mean, that's gutsy to me.
Well.
Yeah. True. So I don't know. That's just how I see it. That sometimes it's like, okay, if I'm going to put my name on something, I'm not going to just give in to you to do whatever you want because it has to represent me. So,
and you need to give the designer their freedom to design as well. And that's another thing. Like if you're asking for this, and this from a designer, you're not giving that designer room to breathe and do what they do best. So next we have Erin, which I loved Erin's look.
As I look right down the runway, I feel really good.
I love it.
It doesn't look like anything else.
Erin is such a talented designer. So I did not have him in my top 4, and I can't wait for mid-season so I can change my top 4 because I feel like the more he shows us, the more his talent comes out. I love it.
That were not used by anybody else. I feel like I created a beauty pageant.
So he's in like he created like a beauty pageant kind of gown. So I'm going to stop it right there. And in my notes, I put for Erin, he is giving us that glimmer of color, the purple beneath all that black. It reminds me of a gown during the Renaissance fair, which Renaissance could have a kind of horror to it. I think it's beautiful. It's not giving me enough horror though. I think it's a beautiful, elegant gown. It's just not enough horror to it. And he's a great designer. Like I said, can't wait to change up my vote because he's showing us more and more. You said it's okay. Yes, technique, flawless, teamwork, but fall short of the Shield of Haunted.
Oh, Chic and Haunted, yeah.
Chic and Haunted. Yep. Which, like I said, it's not haunted, but it's a very beautiful gown. Definitely,
I think it's modern.
Yeah.
Modern and trendy. Sorry, the bird's chirping. I think it's modern and trendy.
It is. It's just not horror. And the whole theme is horror, guys. I think a lot of the designers forgot the haunted aspect of the challenge. It needed to be haunted. You're going to a masquerade ball, and you are that person that's everyone's like, who is that in the corner? Like the Cruella de Vil haunted. oh, that's what I think of when I think of haunted, like her red. So when I think of like these red gowns that they made, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Cruella de Vil, the new one that is on Disney Plus, but it's that like sexy red but mysteriously haunted Cruella de Vil gown. I could see a whole red gown being like that, but none of the red gowns ended up being like that, which was a disappointment. So, unfortunately, let's move on to our next model,
it's by far not the worst,
which
and it's
is
not the best.
Kenneth's model. Now I'm going to pause as she's going down.
She's walking.
It's not, he didn't follow Christian's advice with making it seemingly perfect. Now, I still don't understand the see-through material. I love Kenneth. Love, 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 love Kenneth. But this just did not do it for me. I think he gave a more haunted aspect to everything more than some other designers, but I didn't like the way that the satin draped on her shoulders and where like the knot met on her waist. Didn't like that, and how it flared out into a train. And then the rest of the body, including the face, was like covered in an unflattering like dotted mesh. I just didn't like it. And I know, because I've seen Kenneth's work, that he is capable of so much more. So much more. It's like, no, Kenneth, why? And for your notes, you said for Kenneth, oh gosh, why? I like the color, fits the model well, just falls so short. The draping could have been so much, could have been so much opportunity to it, which
Right.
I agree. If he draped it better, even if he like bunched it, like Christian said, make it seemingly perfect. Everything
see if
to match.
the way Aaron, if you go back and look at Aaron's, he had draping along the bust line, and that was very good draping. There was someone a couple seasons back that did draping that just dropped my jaw. I was like, oh, I wish I could sew like that. So when Kenneth says that he's doing draping, I'm like, no, baby, that's not draping. But anyway, I won't keep dogging on him. I think, if he wanted, he could have taken this green and, you could think of some spooky old oak tree that just, like an old willow tree that just comes from the top and just drapes all the way to the ground. He could have done something like that and still stayed with this fabric.
Yes. See how the V is not perfect. It's not perfect here. He just needed more time, and even with more time, I don't think it would have been enough to make it the concept. He needed a better concept. He did.
I think he could have probably made like a corset, maybe like that went to the mid thighs, and then he could have taken that green and draped it back behind her. Ooh. And made like a train with it from the center out, and that would have worked well with the top.
That's true too. Yes. I think the mask, of course, gives the haunted theme, but the dress definitely.
The mask just reminds me of the mask that he throws in the river, on The Mask, the movie, the nasty grave.
Yes.
I need to quit dogging on your guy.
It's all good. Kenneth will forgive you. He's a sweet guy, I promise. I pressed play. I don't know why it's not playing. Oh, here we go.
It just makes me so happy. It really represents me as who I am.
I'm glad it makes him happy, though. That's what counts.
Yeah, and from the color of it, just the detailing of it, I feel like it's a nice little couture way of draping fabrics.
I think he needs a little bit more help with the draping aspect, but that'll come with time, too.
It's my take on a classic.
All right, Darren.
I'm hoping that the judges would see how my aesthetic would do a classic.
Now, this did give me some of that Cruella de Vil vibes that I was looking for with all these red fabrics that these people wanted to use. Like the backing gave me that Cruella de Vil kind of vibe. The headpiece, not so happy with the headpiece, but I love the way the front is and the cut. I think he should have added a little bit of black to it, or maybe even like a gray or something else besides just the red. I also put in my notes for him that it's long enough to send out his piece. It's creepy spin on a little Red Riding Hood that features a metallic red deep V booties, which I loved, like I said, and the ruffle truffle tulle skirt was kind of, I loved that little bit. I think it gave me that, like I said, the red. When I think of a red kind of horror person, I think of that Cruella de Vil from the new Disney Plus Cruella de Vil movie, where she's creepy but yet sexy in that red dress. And he gave me that vibe more than any of the other red dresses that were on the Runway. I did not like the mask as well, but that's more of his aesthetic with that goth kind of punky vibe, and that's Kenneth for you. I mean Darren for you, which I wasn't upset about. I wasn't. Your notes say for Darren. Let me pull your notes up. Handmaid's Tale. May the Lord open, praise be. Oh my God. Oh, Aaron, this is why I love doing it with you, because we have two different, way different opinions. Oh, she came out. You're back in. Sorry, babe.
No, yes. I'm sorry, I got kicked out.
You came back in.
No, it's okay. I just, no. I thought of Handmaid's Tale. It was like, no, this is just, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Exactly. So I liked it. You didn't. Hey, and that's the whole love of fashion.
I like it better than Bones. I think
I
it
agree. I like
was
it a
more
lot better
gothy.
than Bones.
Yeah, I think it was fine. I think the technique, the sewing, all of that was great. I don't like the red. To me, red is not haunted. It's just not.
Red isn't haunted, but like I said, when I think of like a red haunted kind of gown, I think of like that Cruella de Vil, and he gave me more of that Cruella de Vil kind of look than anyone else did.
Well, it had more chic.
Yes.
If you were looking at the red, this was the most chic of all of them.
Exactly.
So I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. If it plays. There
Always
we go.
talk about being fun for sure, but I feel good this time.
Thank you, Darren. Work it, baby, work it. And here we have our Katie. Now, she is one of the ones that I feature in the thumbnail, which I will be changing the thumbnail up. Those were the photos that I got as a template when I first found out Project Runway was coming back. And now that I've seen the design, I don't understand how this fits into horror. I think it's different. I don't see the doll.
I really like it.
I don't see the creepy doll.
It's just another clown suit. I'm so frustrated.
Exactly the vibe that I'm trying to give off, and
All right, I'm gonna pause it right there. So for Katie, I put in my notes for Katie. The dress is a bit like someone tried to drape a mummy in black rhythm instead of bandages, but somehow the effect is cool in a weird way. I don't really like the striped top and skirt paired with the blood splattered white fabric wrapped around the waist. But she did take a huge risk, and for her, this is not who she is as a designer, and she had to step out of her comfort zone And she tried. I think she tried. She didn't give herself enough credit for trying something new.
She's in one of my top 4.
It's not the best.
She's in, I think, my top 2, actually, 2 or 3. And I like her. She's quirky. I think she can design. I just really am hoping that.
So you said, I get the goth little dead doll, but this was not chic nor haunted. I get her aesthetic. Feeling or going home are correct, but there were worse dresses, and I agree. There were worse dresses.
She's going to have to quit.
Designers. She shouldn't have felt like she needed to quit, though. I think all these designers at one point are going to feel like that no matter what throughout this challenge. And you can't feel like you're going to quit. You can't. You got to keep pushing forward.
Hey, Jackie, I have got to hop down off a panel. It's getting a little bit late. I will try to be in the chat if that's okay. Do you mind if I step down? Okay. I will see you guys next time. I'll be listening.
I got your notes. There's only 2 designers left, and then we'll go from there. From
okay, and just
that I got for everybody.
Tell me who are the last 2, the names.
Anna and Cassidy.
I think Chastity's my favorite. Is she from Houston?
I
think so.
She is. I can tell you.
I think she's my number 2 or my number 1.
Chastity.
No, Chantel's my number 1. Chastity, I think, is number 2. 3 is Katie. Okay. All right. I've got to hop down, but if you just want to read my notes, I will be listening.
Not a problem.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, honey. Thank you for coming.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So next we have Chantel, or Chastity's design. Excuse me, Chastity's design.
I'm curious to see what the judges think.
So the last little bit of Katie.
Yes. I'm hoping that even though it took all these other turns, that this one is hauntingly chic.
I'm glad at the end, though, she was happy with her design. Beautiful, Chastity. Oh, this reads right off the rip, in my opinion, as the horror chic. Just have to throw that out there.
This is the type of gowns that I love to do. I like to create art. I recognize myself as an artist before a designer. I like to create pieces that cause conversation.
It gives that like haunted chic vibe that I think everybody just loved. And she, I think, nailed it. She nailed it. So what I have for Chastity was, she reveals the crown jewel of the bunch. Oh, yes. Thank you. The floral black lace column gown with the pleated mesh, just shaped with those 2 twin fans in front and back. Just gave it that like avant-garde kind of gorgeous kind of look. And I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Beautiful. Loved it. And Miss Erin said for Chastity, 100% perfect hit. Chic perfectly. Wish the white had been black. That was her only little thing. Wish the white had been black. And if it was more of a black kind of fan or even a gray kind of fan, I think it would have gave more of a haunted vibe. But she nailed it. Nailed it.
It's fantastic.
I really
yes,
want
baby.
to make sure the judges know what I can bring.
Work it. Work that little push. And next we have our Anna with that. It's like the gothic bride.
I feel my look
love it.
Enough to be on the top.
And you know what I love about Anna? No matter what, even last week and the week before too, she always gives us that like pop of like wow factor. Like when the model takes off the covering. It's like, boom, bitch. It's like, boom, bitch, right there.
I think that's very.
We don't want Brandon face. It's like, yes, bitch, work it. I love it. Love it. So for Anna, I said that Anna brings up the rear with her heart-stopping Corpse Bride little ensemble. The draping in a transparent veil with her model, with that beautiful reveal of a corset strapless gown, is so sexy and sophisticated, and it complements all of the right curves and just the unveiling of the veil, and you see this beautiful dress underneath, makes it unbelievable. And she gets the best compliment of the night from the guest judge, from saying it's so Gaga. And I can totally see Lady Gaga wearing something like this and pulling it off, that like Corpse Bride kind of Gaga vibe. And Erin said, not the worst tonight. It's chic. It's a little haunting. Tulle and ruffles, though, played safe. And see, this is why I love hearing everyone's different perspective, because she thinks that Anna played it safe and had the tools and the ruffle. But she could have had a lot more tool and ruffle if she didn't listen to Christian. Now, because she listened to Christian, there was no tooling on the side, and that's what I think kept the dress sexy. Because if she added the tooling to the side, it would have been a lot more tooling. But again, the fashion is in the eye of the beholder. Erin knew it wasn't the worst of the night. It was definitely chic and a little haunting. She didn't like it in the sense of the tulle and the ruffles, and she thinks that Anna played it safe. Well, I'm sitting here going, Corpse Bride, yes, bitch, you show us. And I've liked all of, honestly, I love all of Anna's looks so far. Did you see Darren's reaction of the first two challenges on his Instagram? He gotten so much better now. Yes, I did. I have a sneak peek too of Darren and Kenneth together from an Instagram live that I was a part of with them that I am going to play in just a little bit. Nexus. But yes, Darren has gotten so much better, and I am a punk rocker still at heart. That was who I was. I was that punk rock girl in high school, and I see Darren's punk rock vibes, and he's pulling it off so much better. And sometimes, like the judges say about Kenneth, like sometimes they need a little bit more time. And with time comes skill and progression. And the more you step out of your box and try new things, the better you get at creating more amazing designs that you never thought that you could create. And that's what I love about Project Runway, is it takes these designers and gives them something new to try that they've never tried before. And yes, it steps them out of their comfort zone for sure. So that was the Runway show. Let's watch the last little bit. Booyah, bitch. Yay! So that was the Runway show, everybody. I'm going to remove this for now because I'm going to put up the behind the scenes stuff that I got from this week's episode for you. And then the couple other little things that I got as well. So at this point, the Runway show was successful, and there was a lot of things that were played safe. There was a lot of amazing pieces. There was a lot of pieces that didn't make any sense at all. Everyone's eye is different when it comes to fashion. So the judges line them all up. They call out the top and bottom, saying Chastity Octava Anna, Zayden, Bones, and Kenneth. We all want to speak to you. All the rest, you guys are safe. They gave Katie a little side note saying, just because we didn't call your name does not mean we didn't dig your design and think that you actually stepped out of your box and tried something new. She did. She did something she's never done before. So while Chastity takes home that gold, looking hot in that number, and Tajay Henson, the panel has a hard time honing in on the loser. So Zayden's was poorly constructed. I mean, if you listen to Christian and did not go with the red fabric, I think he wouldn't have been on the bottom. I personally think that there was worse than Zayden, and I wouldn't have put Zayden on the bottom. But I can understand where they only saw and were focused on those gathering and bunching and the wrinkles and the crumble. And I see where the judges put him on the bottom. I don't agree that he should have been on the bottom, but I understand. Bones with the showgirl vibe, as Nina would put it. I don't see Bones being on the bottom as well. But I understand where they did not see the horror or the haunted chic in his design and could put him on the bottom. I think there was other people that deserved to be on the bottom before Zayden and Bones. Now, unfortunately, Kenneth, I love you, Kenneth. You are like the most adorable thing in the world. But I know you are so much more skilled. I know you're skilled. I'm going to show the audience how much more skilled you are. And it broke my heart having to watch him crumble, especially with everything that happened last week. And Megan's sharp tongue and all of that. It did. It broke my heart that they sent him packing. And I love Kenneth. And you know what? This just proves, I think what happened with Kenneth was, yes, unfortunately, he didn't win Project Runway, but he went back out there and said, this is who I am as a designer, and look at me. And the celebrities that he still designs for love his creations, and his creations are still freaking jaw-dropping, show-stopping, amazing. So Kenneth, even though you went home, we still love you, babe. You're amazing. So with that, Chastity's emotions, celebration after narrowing it down and avoiding the departure in week 1, she climbed that ladder and showed those designers why they kept her in the game. And even Nina Garcia gave Chastity her stamp of approval as a Halloween costume, which I thought was pretty amazing. Girl, you were so happy when you saw Tajay Henderson, and I think you winning with that guest judge too gave you that confidence boost that you needed to push through and make it through the rest of this crazy challenging competition. Girl, you are skilled. You learned this week too. You can't sit there and hand sew, unfortunately, even though when you do put together pieces like that with the hand sewing, it looks beautiful. Time is still a factor in the competition. And I think that you learned from this as well as winning, and you have immunity next week, which is an amazing thing. Just don't play it safe, girl. You better bring it next week, just like I think Parjay brought it. So next week, though, we are ditching the graveyard for some beautiful floral, amazing themes. And floral, I love floral anything. It's not something that I would wear completely all floral. I might have like a nice little floral top or a little floral skirt with a plain shirt kind of thing. So I can't wait to see next week's challenge. And let's just hope that Christian is not dressed up as a Gerber Daisy. But I can't wait to see next week with the floral theme. I'm totally excited about that. With that being said, though, let's look at some behind the scenes stuff that I did find for you guys from this week. So I know it's black right now. Let me put it up. So we're back to the models where I left off. So this is when they were in the mansion. They all got to cheers in the morning and enjoy a nice little glass of, like, hopefully it was a mimosa, like champagne and orange juice, but I don't see the orange juice. But hey, or tea, high tea, whatever the case may be. Nice little mansion shot right there. Now this is from Anna's Instagram. And this gave me a haunted vibe. And I was thinking to myself, Anna, you pulled off the white in a haunted vibe, just with like the makeup and everything. And with them having the ability to say, I want my model's makeup to be like this and the hair like this, they could have added that to their model's look to make it more haunting. But this was a look from Anna's Instagram that I was like, girl, she pulled off the haunted right there. Here's another behind the scenes of them enjoying tea in the morning at the mansion. And then we have Mr. Aaron at Mood picking out his fabrics. Him working his little tushy off, designing with the sewing machine and ironing. He's a perfectionist when it comes to ironing. And here, this is, so Kenneth, when I saw his sketch, this is more what I was seeing in my head. Granted, it's not of like a horror or chic kind of vibe, but this is what I saw in my head when I was looking at his sketch. And then when I saw it on his Instagram, I'm like, oh my God, he designed this for her for the Golden Globes. And this was more what I saw in his sketch for that episode than what he put out. And this, look at how beautiful of a gown Kenneth makes. So he might not make it in the haunted theme, and he has left us in the Project Runway days, but look how freaking talented this man is. And here, this is an amazing shot of the dress. Like, booyah. So it's skin tight with that flare. I love when they do like these still kind of booyah moments. I think they're like the E-cams, but even though this is not the E-cam, it's the Golden Globes. It's like, oh yes, baby, look at this dress. So Jenny May, you look amazing in our boy Kenneth's fashion. Keep letting him design for you, baby. You look hot. And then we have our Christian as the vampire of the episode. I think he's an adorable vampire. Love you, Christian. You're amazing. And then we have Katie here at work putting together her gown. We have Chastity, this week's winner. All happy and excited. I love her top. Chastity's top. I love Chastity's top. I love her like pants look that she's got going on. Not to mention, I love the whole look. I think it gives, even with the hair and everything, it just gives that horror kind of haunted, amazing theme that everyone was looking for. She did an amazing job. And here she is. This is from her Instagram page. Hard at work before the runway show, making sure everything is nice and perfect and ready to go. Girl, love it. Love it, love it. And here is her runway look. One more time for everybody. Look at this baby. Ooh, love it. It like hides the face and it's just beautiful. Amazing. Work it, baby. Work it, baby. Work it, baby. I think floral is totally going to be her challenge next week for sure. And here is the beautiful contestants. So now, unfortunately, we have to put our boy Kenneth, a big red X on Kenneth for next week. But this is the Instagram live that I caught. It was Chassie, Octavia, Kenneth, and Darren. Now, Octavia and Chastity didn't stay on very long. And this is, I think, like 40 minutes or something. We're not going to watch all 40 minutes. Aw. Exactly. I wish I could hear that as well. So Octavia goes to work, and it ends up being Darren and Kenneth in the live. So we find out Kenneth is going to Hawaii. And he's saying, Darren, you should come to Hawaii with me. So we learned a little insider that they both speak Filipino, and during the runway, like Project Runway, they would speak Filipino to each other and talk naughty and talk about other people in Filipino, so that way the other contestants couldn't hear what they were saying. So they talk a little bit in Filipino right here for each other. You get the little vibe going on. So they're asking people who they think are going to be in the top 4. I did not give them my input on who I thought the top 4 were going to be, because I kind of, like I said, we do it here on Sunshinery. We started with episode 1 giving our top 4. And then mid-season, we're going to have the chance to change it up. And the more we get to see the designers, the more I'm learning about them and wanting to change my vote. I wish I got to clip this for you guys, and that my boyfriend was sick and I didn't get to clip it because he had made me. He made me not be able to clip this for you because I wanted to clip it and edit it right to the point where this is right where I posted. He does. He designs for a lot of famous people. So this is where I ask about the Meg. RuPaul. He designs for RuPaul, guys. So this is where I'm like, hey, have you talked to Meg since everything happened? So you get the little behind the scenes of me asking. And there's that T Project Runway account, Topic Project Runway, who I said is an amazing Instagram account if you want to follow. I'm definitely going to link them below and give you guys the link to it. I agree. And I love T Project Runway. Wow, y'all should get in touch with him, with the Filipino designer that designs for RuPaul. And I like his answer that no, they haven't gotten in touch and they would like to get in touch with Meg. And that's when I said I understand what you mean. And no one wants to have an issue with anybody. And I did say that she did treat him wrong because that's how I felt. There was 17 people in this live, guys. I was taking every chance I could to ask whatever questions I could think. It is. Yes, Darren, you do flirt with Christian a lot. We love it. I was like, Christian was totally that emo boy back in his season because I wanted Darren to know he was right on with Christian thinking that he was that emo boy back in the day, for sure. That was our Christian. Wow, if you've been trying out since season 14, that's 5 seasons. I feel bad. I agree. See how sweet these two are? Darren and Kenneth OnlyFans. So these two, everybody in the chat that was there that day wanted these two together. They kept saying, you guys should date, you guys should date, you guys should date. I think it would be cute, honestly. It would be very cute. But hey. He said that he had got him rings. I was like, yeah, ring pops. You got him rings, ring pops. Chastity will make y'all's wedding suits. She would. And bows. Yes. Even though she says she never wants to hear that word uttered again. She would. So I do have it's a lot longer. They went on and on about, just hanging out and being friends and keeping in touch, and people saying they wanted them to date. You guys should date, you guys should date, you guys should date. Bones stopped by while we were there. It's a ghost. Bones, get better wigs, please. Someone said. I was like, no. I'm like, I have a YouTube channel with a recap. Love you all. And I sent that, and then Bones said later. So, I mean, it was a nice little Instagram. Next time I will have it clipped up for you guys, so that way we're not just going through it like we just did. But I thought it was so cute that Kenneth and Darren are still very close. And they do a lot of Instagram lives together. I love Anna's work. See, I agree, Nexus. I love Anna's work. I loved her gothic bridal theme. I loved that head to toe bodysuit where she just did a swirl and bam, the skirt fell. She gives that dramatic effect, and I can understand her points of view too. When she was sitting there explaining, she puts her emotion into her art, you can totally tell. And that's what I love about Erin. Darren looks cute, like one of those Korean boys. Yeah, doesn't he? Oh, yes, and the little boy band. I love it. I love Darren so much. I'm sad to see Kenneth go, and I'm still a big fan of his. Like I said, he has so much potential. He's already dressing celebrities. He was dressing celebrities before he went on Project Runway. He is a very talented designer. The point of Project Runway, though, is to be able to step out of your comfort zone and design things that you maybe never designed before, and be able to expand your horizons. And that's what we need to see with these designers this season moving forward, is even if they are uncomfortable, like Kate was this episode, that they still can design something and push themselves to that new limit with design concepts. All right, guys, we have reached the 3-hour mark. We're longer than the actual Project Runway, but I had a lot of behind the scenes for you that I wanted to show you. The Dark Knight, who's in the chat, the Dark Magician, excuse me, Dark Knight. I was thinking I have the movie on. Sorry. I do. I have the Dark Knight on right now. But the Dark Magician also has a YouTube channel. It's called The Commentary Zone. He also has another YouTube channel called Say It, Be It. But on The Commentary Zone, he gives commentary with Debbie, his partner in crime, but he actually does the Project Runway. Debbie joined him actually last time, which I was excited for. But if you like my review, his is a lot shorter than my reviews. Definitely check out the commentary zone. The link will be in the description. If it's not already there, it will be at the end, and I can put it up for you really quick in the live chat for everybody. But check his channel out. He does his on Wednesday, normally the day before the new episode, usually around 2:00 ish p.m. And it's amazing. He that's what this is why I like doing the Project Runway, because we all have our own opinions on fashion. Fashion is in the eye of the beholder, and I love hearing what you guys have to say in the comment section, along with watching the Dark Knight the Dark Magician talk about it, because everyone's so different. That's why I love having Erin up here on panel with me, because it's like, well, you didn't like that. Well, I loved it. And we can hear each other's perspective of why she didn't like it as much as I liked it, and kind of see what each person is different when it comes to fashion. And that is the beauty of Project Runway, the beauty of fashion, the beauty of art. We are all different. We're all going to like different things. And if we can come together and discuss why we like something or why we didn't like something, that's what makes this an amazing discussion topic to come and talk about with one another. So I am very thankful you guys came to the live stream. Thank you to everybody on the replay crew. Please check out the commentary zone. This coming Wednesday, I believe, like I said, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when he does his review on the Project Runway for this week's episode. Check it out, because you can never have enough of hearing what people think about fashion, and hearing what you liked or what maybe somebody else liked, and seeing things from a different perspective. And we are going to keep moving forward and keep this amazing after show review. And I promise next week my boyfriend won't be sick, and I can have things more cleaned up and clipped, and StreamYard won't hate me as much. And for everybody that's on the replay, I am going to clean it up a little bit for you guys. So you might not get to see the live chat, but that's okay. Please, everyone, leave your comments and how you feel about this week's challenge below, who yours was the favorite, and who you thought should have gone home. I think my favorite, I believe, it's a toss-up. I really like Chastity's, but I also really loved Anna's. They both were in the top, and they were in the top for a good reason. Now, do I feel Kenneth should have gone home? Not really. But I also don't agree with Bones or Zandon being in the bottom. I thought there was other looks that were worse, in my opinion, or weren't fitting the challenge that should have been in the bottom. Like, I hate to say it, it's all perspective. It really is all perspective. Like, Katie, her dress was definitely pushing behind her points of view, which I think she should have been safe, like she was. But I think that I would have probably had Christina as going home this week, even though I really love Christina as a creator. I would have had Christina and Sabrina in the bottom instead of Bones and Xander. And Kenneth, I love you, Kenneth. You are an amazing designer. I just don't think that this week was your challenge. And it's okay, because you have learned and you have grown, and you are still banging out those amazing dresses, like the Golden Globes dress that was off the chain. Keep doing your thing, honey, and keep being you. Don't ever change. And thank you all for coming to this week's after show review, and we will be here next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live for another Project Runway after show, episode 4, which is floral themed, guys. So get ready for all those beautiful, beautiful floral designs. And hopefully we don't get old grandma vibes from these floral designs next week. And we get some hot, chic, sexy, banging floral outfits from them. Thank you all for coming, and I'm so happy that you all came. I hope you all have a wonderful, amazing weekend and happy Halloween. Stay safe, and I will see you guys here. Well, I'll be here tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the weekly YouTube recap where we go over all the crazy stuff that happened this week on YouTube and all of these crazy celebrity YouTubers that are retiring and doing crazy things. So I will see you guys tomorrow here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If not, I will see you next week for the after show review. Bye, everybody.